LA This Week.
I'm Anna Marcos. We'll show you the wonderful and harrowing stories of women survivors at this art exhibit in City Hall. And it's all just in time for Women's History Month. That's coming up.
How this pathway serves as a gateway to Los Angeles history. I'm Rasha Goel, and that story's up next.
Don't take things too seriously when you walk into this kitschy museum poking fun at pop culture icons. Almost everything inside here is tongue-in-cheek, except for the art form, which takes serious skills. I'm Gil Reyes with the story next.
Hey everyone, I'm Yana Kay. Here's what's happening in LA this week. An incredible day for women as City Hall celebrates Women's History Month. The Pioneer Women Awards, Art and Survival. Anna Marcos takes us to International Women's Day.
Sisterhood, strength, survival, violence, homelessness, modern human slavery. Just some of the many women's stories coming to life on these walls as the art exhibit opens at the City Hall Bridge. If anyone personifies survivors, it's Tindi and Bibi Mashamba. Mayor Eric Garcetti toured the Shifting Narratives art exhibit, which includes the two albino sisters from Tanzania as both artists and subjects.
In my country, they believe that if you chop a limb of an albino person, you become rich. They came to my house and they chopped my right leg and my two fingers.
Bibi was only a small child when people in her village mutilated her. She and Sister Tindi are now refugees here. Both advocate for the rights of people with albinism.
If you chop somebody a neck or a head, of course people will die, right?
And they do that?
Yeah.
It's the photos of Kathleen Gerber, another artist photographer at the exhibit, that document the sisters' journey from Africa to the U.S.
You're actually starting to see prosecutions occurring, which was unheard of like a decade ago.
The art exhibit is marking women's courage hand in hand with another event, the Pioneer Women Awards. Both are focused on some really gritty issues this year.
The theme of this year's Pioneer Women were women who are working in issues of homelessness, domestic violence, and human trafficking.
What we wanted to do was to reorient the Pioneer Women Awards around that issue to really celebrate survivors.
Each council member picked a Pioneer Woman of the Year in their district, 15 in all.
I believe in going out there and do your very best to impact somebody in a positive way every day.
I have been a victim of sexual abuse as a child, and I used ballet as my means for healing. The agency, it's called the Swan Within Healing Through Ballet, and we're going into the juvenile halls, into camps, and we're teaching incarcerated youth as well as foster youth. We're teaching them classical ballet.
There's such a need for pride, for unity, for empowerment, and that's just what I want to give back.
But the day also reminded the women and men that side by side with survival comes empowerment. The Urban Voices Choir from Skid Row provided inspiration that got hearts and bodies moving.
We celebrate tragedy too often and not enough triumph, and I think in here we show the triumph of overcoming.
The artwork reflects both the tragedies survived and the triumph of finding a voice through art.
Organizers also used the day to roll out a new anti-human trafficking campaign called Look Again, which teaches Angelenos to spot and report signs of human trafficking. And on this Women's History Month, we highlight an organization that's helping young women achieve their dreams. Meet Dynamic Girls.
I have been in the photo industry for about 20 years, and during that time I had been trying to find a way to connect women from socioeconomically challenged backgrounds to get them into the industry.
Here I help out my mentor, Wyman Chang. He's a stylist, so I kind of help around prepping the models for photo shoots, pictures that they take, or getting wrinkles out of clothes, picking up shoes and things like that, or assisting him with dressing the model.
I became a mentor because my good friend Ruby Burns asked me, she told me about her amazing program with the Dynamic Girls. She asked if I would participate and mentor one of these girls, and I was so happy to do it.
I was on a photo shoot for a big international brand, and the photographer and I were talking, and she challenged me as to why my set wasn't more diverse. And it was in that moment that I realized that in order to make change in the industry, it's going to have to start with me.
I'm very grateful to have an internship like this. I don't feel like I'm just an intern. I feel like I'm actually doing something, like this is my career.
The world is open to them. They can do anything and accomplish everything. I wish that when I was 17 that I had these opportunities.
I didn't expect to be as inspired by the girls as I am, but what I found was that they have imparted a great deal of information to me. We have a really great opportunity right now to bring girls into positions of leadership in the creative industry.
Think Uber and Lyft, but solely for your neighborhood. As Gil Reyes reports, the city has launched a first-of-its-kind shuttle in one part of town known for its gridlock.
What you are looking at behind me is one of the possible solutions for reducing traffic in LA's traffic-choked West Side. A new ride-sharing service for residents of Mar Vista and surrounding areas.
We know that sometimes people need to drive, but we want to make sure that getting in your car by yourself is a choice of last resort.
The Los Angeles Department of Transportation introduces its new public transit experience. West Side Councilman Mike Bonin and Paul Koretz try out LA Now, LA's first on-demand neighborhood shuttle. Like Uber and Lyft, you just download the app, reserve a ride, and we're off.
I mean, I'm hoping that this is going to be successful enough that we start doing micro-transit, as they call it, and neighborhood shuttles. Metro's been talking about this for a couple of years. We've been talking about it for a couple of years, and I think Paul and I are just stoked that it's happening first on the West Side.
This micro-transit system serves the communities of Del Rey, Venice, Mar Vista, and Palms only. Once reserved, meet your shuttle at the designated pickup spot. It's never farther than a few blocks away.
Muchas personas que no tenemos carro y necesitamos para ir al mandado, para ir al doctor.
Juanita Becerra says she and so many of her neighbors in Mar Vista don't own cars. She saves a lot taking the shuttle to her doctor's appointments. The senior rate is just 75 cents per trip, cheaper than Uber and Lyft. City officials hope the shuttle also promotes ridership on metro, rail, and buses.
If you're not right next to transit, it's difficult to get there to start the process. So if you're a mile or so away and you can hop on the shuttle and get to the expo line and then take expo to work or to whatever your destination is, it makes it much more practical.
Closing that first mile, last mile gap. A one-way trip on LA Now is $1.50 for adults, free for kids 4 and under.
Service runs from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. Create an account at the LA Now app. For a lot of us, buying or renting a home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be if you know how the process works. Councilman Curran Price held a housing workshop recently to help residents navigate the home buying landscape.
Lots of people think that homeownership is out of reach, and about 85% of our customer base are either trying to become homeowners or are existing homeowners.
The event today is to acquaint District 1 residents with housing options they have, affordable housing options that exist here in the city. A number of organizations that provide housing are going to be here talking about their projects and talking about the process so that our citizens can be better prepared. Housing is a big issue all throughout our city, and especially here in CD9. So we're doing what we can to encourage neighbors and friends to come out, understand what the options are, and get prepared.
When you hear affordable housing, there's no stopping you, rain or shine. You're going to be here to get more information because the prices are ridiculous. The moment I saw the sign saying that they were going to have like an informational meeting, I had to come. I would just like to encourage everyone to come and get more information because they might get more out of this than what they expect.
I'm looking into the new progress that's being done in this neighborhood. It's finally seeing some movement after 15 years that I've been living here. I want to see what it is they have now for low-income, disabled community members. It's hard. The community needs a change. Slowly, there's been some progress. It's been seen, but wouldn't mind seeing some more progress.
It's important that we continue to focus on housing. It's a multifaceted issue. There are lots of solutions, and we want to make sure that our citizens are involved in them.
It's not for the faint of heart, but these young ladies certainly proved that they've got what it takes to join an elite firefighting force. They put their skills to the test at a recent LAFD training camp for females.
Today we have our Girls Fire Camp. It's a 2-day introductory camp where we teach girls how to become firefighters or what it takes.
And it's raining today, so I think it's really exciting that 92 young girls from across the city showed up on a rainy day to participate in fire camp. There's about 3,200 firefighters in the fire department, and about 116 are women, so that's about 3%. We have to do more to incentivize women to see themselves in a career in fire service.
We want to have a diverse fire department so that we can better serve our communities, and one way to do that is to get more female firefighters in the department.
And we're trying to create a buddy system where these girls not only make new friends, but also create the network so that they can have a relationship with a woman firefighter.
Well, the firefighting career is amazing. You get tremendous gratitude from helping people. Our goal for our department is to reach 5% of our workforce. So we are actively recruiting men and women, but today's event is especially targeting our young females.
I see many opportunities for other young ladies like me.
If you have dreams or if you want to succeed something in life, you should always go for it.
It's actually a good opportunity, I have to say that.
It's a pathway where the past meets the future, and you'll soon be able to walk right through it. Rasha Goel takes us to the city's first historic pathway in the El Pueblo Historic Monument District.
You may have visited or driven through Main Street in downtown Los Angeles, but do you know how historic this block is? Housed in the Brunswick Building and the Plaza House, La Plaza de Cultura y Artes Museum opened in 2011, but the history of these buildings date back to the 1880s.
So where we are here is really where Los Angeles was first born. So as you know, the city was settled by pobladores from Mexico in 1781. They created the plaza area here, and as this area developed, this was really the commercial civic center of Los Angeles.
Today, the museum is known as the nation's premier center of Mexican-American culture. Through exhibits and various programs, you can learn about the ongoing story of Mexican Americans in Los Angeles and beyond.
What we focus on here is celebrating the Latino roots of Los Angeles. So we do that through history, art, and culture. Okay, we want people to know how Los Angeles got founded, who the founders were, and what those contributions were that were made to the development of the city. You know, LA is more than La La Land. We're more than that. We have permanent exhibitions here. One is a recreation of Main Street out here as it used to be back in the 1920s, with stores that people can go into. Some of those are actually original stores that used to be on the street back then. And then we have changing exhibitions that come in as well.
And preserving that history includes renovation of the La Plaza Paseo walkway. The block-long pathway is located between the La Plaza Museum and the historic La Placita Church and will extend from Main Street to Spring Street.
And here's the fun fact. How many of you knew that this was the first church in Los Angeles and the first cemetery right behind me? So when you come down here, not only will you learn about their historical significance, but walking through this pathway will give you a true glimpse into history.
And we'll be renovating that area with new landscaping. We're also going to create what we consider the signature piece of that project, which is a landscape archway, which will be right here on Main Street. And then another important component of that is we'll have some historical signage out there so that people can go through and learn about the history of Los Angeles from the early Native American settlers, the Tongvas who were here, up until the periods controlled by Spain and later Mexico and later the United States.
When completed, it will create a direct pathway stretching approximately 4 city blocks to Union Station and the new residential retail complex.
So much history here in Los Angeles. Now, if you haven't come down to La Plaza de Cultura y Artes, I highly recommend you to come down and really learn about the immigrant experience.
The Paseo Walkway is expected to be completed in 4 months. For more information, visit La Plaza's Facebook page. Velvet paintings get no respect in the mainstream art world, but in this next gallery, they're golden. Tacky or brilliant? You be the judge at this unexpected pop culture museum in LA's Chinatown. Gil Reyes has more.
It's been described as cool and kitschy, and for some people, even a little bit creepy. But it might also crack you up. The only museum in the world dedicated to black velvet art tributizes pop culture icons. And if you like unicorns and clowns, well, they have them inside here too. If you're offended by this Hillary Clinton as a vampire painting, then this museum probably is not for you. It's one of the more risque works we can show on TV from Velveteria, a museum in downtown LA. This is the only black velvet art museum in the world that we know of.
Well, nobody else is stupid enough to do this. These things have been lying around forever, man, and Goodwills and Salvation Armies, and everybody that kicks them aside or throws them out.
No, I don't make fun of people. We honor them. Like you said before, it's an honor to be on velvet and be immortalized in velvet.
Owner Carl Baldwin has collected some 3,000 of these velvet paintings from all over the world.
Really, the explosion of velvet was Tahiti 30s, Hawaii the 50s, 60s, and then along the Mexican border forever.
And not all of it is kitschy. Baldwin says serious LA artists from black communities popularized the art form in the 1960s.
South Central, you have a whole flourishing art scene, and these are totally unique with the lights in them, and people love these maybe more than anything in here.
Baldwin says creating a velvet painting is difficult. One careless stroke can ruin it.
You can't go back, white it out like canvas and correct your mistakes. You got to be perfect. Welcome to the Blacklight Room, the greatest room in art in all of Los Angeles. Back in the 60s, they used blacklight paint, put it on the velvet, and you get your black light. You turn it on, you turn on Jimi Hendrix, and Mom's going, "What's that smell?" So
60s marijuana culture, and yes, Elvis is everywhere. But is this museum tacky? Baldwin has a message for so-called art snobs.
If you've got nose in the air all the time, you're missing everything around you, So stay in your ivory tower and get out of our way. I love LA, and that's why I'm in LA, because it's the greatest city in the world, the epicenter of all creativity, and we're the epicenter of art. So come on in.
It's no secret this business has struggled to stay afloat. The hope is media coverage about this will attract more visitors. Check out Velveteria at 711 New High Street in downtown's Chinatown.
Oh, come on, there's nothing like the King of Rock on black velvet. Check it out for yourself. The museum is open Wednesday through Monday. Arbor Day brings the community together with an old-fashioned tree planting in the valley. Hundreds of volunteers grabbed shovels and helped plant nearly 200 trees, and some even went home with fruit trees of their own.
celebrating Arbor Day here in Council District 6, and we want to instill the importance of our tree adoption program here in the city of Los Angeles and increasing our tree canopy.
Trees are an essential part of our human life, our human existence. So humans need trees around them for health, for clean air, but then of course trees provide a huge number of other benefits. They shade our houses, they shade buildings, but they mostly beautify where we live. They create a better quality of life, and so it's essential that we plant as many trees as we can.
What I love about this event is that you have a number of families from my district where you have people here taking care of our environment.
Hey, my trees. I love fruit. My mom loves fruit, and I came to get my free tree.
We need to grow trees and help the environment. Also, like the fruit trees because it's the organic fruit, and also promote like a clean and green environment.
Chinese culture was on full display during the closing celebration of the Chinese New Year. The Lantern Festival capped off 2 weeks of traditional music, dance, food, and art.
It's rain or shine. It's our annual Lantern Festival celebration. The Chinese celebrate our New Year for 2 weeks. And so we wrap up all the celebrations by celebrating with what's called a Lantern Festival. We offer ways to teach our culture in very fun and active ways. Lots and lots of cultural events.
It's actually important to me because I've recently been getting back into touch with my Chinese heritage. It's a perfect time for us to be here at like this museum and the event for that reason, I think.
Kids, here's your chance to submit names for Metro's tunnel boring machines. Upgrades are coming to DeLongpre Park in Hollywood, and the Department of Cultural Affairs launches a new food mapping project. All this in City Beat. Calling all kids! Metro is ready to start construction on their new Purple Line extension between Beverly Hills and Century City, but they need your help. The underground tunnel boring machines can't begin work until they get names and custom-themed artwork. Community appreciation and fun prizes await the selectees, so pitch your best ideas into the hat now at metro.net. Councilmember David Rue is spearheading improvements to DeLongpre Park in Hollywood. The popular park will receive a much-needed facelift, including a shade structure, play areas, security lights and cameras, and an overall family-friendlier design. The project is personally important to Rue, who says, "City parks were my backyard." And technology has never been so yummy. The Department of Cultural Affairs invites you to participate in a citywide food appreciation project. Nominate your favorite restaurants and help map out exactly where Los Angeles is chowing down. Join the interactive experience and contribute to the city's food history at #LookingAtMyLosAngeles on all social media platforms. Folks in Mar Vista got into the neighborly spirit as they hit one of their great streets for an evening of live art, music, and of course, food trucks.
We are in lovely Mar Vista. Here at the Mar Vista Art Walk, it's a wonderful community event that happens 4 times a year. We have live music, live painting, all kinds of art vending. Businesses are wide open. They love the foot traffic. We have between 3,000 and 5,000 people walking the streets of Mar Vista. It's a wonderful event. The Mar Vista Art Walk was founded in 2015 using the footprint and the guidance of Mayor Garcetti's one of his very first campaign initiatives, which was and remains the Great Streets Initiative. The The idea behind the Great Streets is that in each of the 15 council districts, there is a street or a boulevard that is actually kind of a town center. And we have been very successful in activating our Great Street. The Council District 11 Great Street is Venice Boulevard between Inglewood and Beethoven. And 4 times a year, we have this great event that transpires each quarter, spring, summer, fall, winter. The entire community has come out in increasing numbers to enjoy everything that we have.
Celebrate the 65th anniversary of The Creature from the Black Lagoon, take a bite out of a vegan street fair, and are you a fan of the Hellboy comics? Well, here's your chance to meet the creator. All this in Things to Do. Join the West Valley Regional Library for Creature Fest, a celebration of the 65th anniversary of Creature from the Black Lagoon. The branch will be showing all 3 Creature movies, along with commentary and discussion led by the Guys from Monster Party podcast. Creature Fest begins at 11 a.m. on Saturday, March 23rd. The screening will happen at the West Valley Regional Library at 19036 Van Owen Street. For details, visit lapl.org/events. Calling all vegans, the Vegan Street Fair is returning to NoHo. This all-ages vegan food celebration will feature vegan-friendly restaurants and vendors serving up bite-sized portions of delicious vegan eats. You'll also find tons of vegan wear that let you express your style. It's all happening at the Vegan Street Fair March 23rd and 24th, beginning at 11 a.m. The fair is located at 11223 Chandler Boulevard. For more info, visit veganstreetfair.com. Head over to Earth 2 Comics, where Hellboy creator Mike Mignola is meeting fans and signing comics. Spend Hellboy Day celebrating its 25th anniversary and heralding the upcoming movie with the iconic character's creator. Mike Mignola stops by Earth 2 Comics on Saturday, March 23rd, beginning at 2 p.m. Earth 2 Comics is located at 15017 Ventura Boulevard. For details, visit earth2comics.com. And that's a look at some things to do. That's it for this edition. I'm Yana Kay. From all of us here at LA This Week, thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more of LA This Week.